start that again. This is going to be a multi-part video. Both phases are in equilibrium. Well, that's what happens. You know, neither phase is favored, and then we get spontaneous. That's boiling. Boiling is the equilibrium between the gaseous and the liquid phase. And it happens when the vapor pressure of water matches the vapor pressure of the atmosphere. Well, anyway, this should be 373 Kelvin because we know that. And anything above 373 Kelvin will make this even more negative. So let's go to 470. If we went to 473 Kelvin, then there's a big driving force, right, to vaporize that water. Big driving force to vaporize the water. It should come out negative. And so we had to go to 0 and then transition to the negative. But 0 is the minimum, so this is the minimum. But you know, in thermal, we have to keep track of all these restrictions and everything else. There was one other thing I failed to recognize. Do you know what it is? I know the boiling point of water, as all of you do, right? It's 100 degrees C. But what is the boiling point of water in Canada? Or Europe? Do they use the same boiling point as us? Maybe in England they would. But would they use the same boiling point as us? Because the boiling point of water, I know, is when, you know, the vapor pressure of water equals 1 atmosphere. But our book used to use atmospheres. But now our book doesn't, because Petrucci was at San Bernardino, and then actually Petrucci passed away, and some Canadian professors took over the textbook. Harwood's Canada. In Canada, do they use 1 atmosphere as standard? Or do they use 1 bar as standard pressure? In Canada and Europe, do they use atmospheres or do they use bar? It's so close. Like in Chem 1A, I just said, you know, it's close enough. 1 atmosphere is about 1 bar. They're so close, right? But this, if you look at the table, this table is for 1 bar. Well, you know, does water boil at 100 degrees C in a pressure 1 bar? Not exactly, because 1 bar is not the same. Even though it's close, it's not the same. In fact, a bar is a little bit smaller. So 1 atmosphere